Anyhow, man, today we are going to be doing an upgrade that I am extremely excited about on this FRP bike. Kind of opened it because I wanted to peek at it before the video, and then I realized they are... I was like, what the heck, bro? I can't even look at it. You guys have got to know what that is, right? Yeah, so this is going to be a huge upgrade, man. So my Coleman bike, it's a much larger bike than the FRP. That was my first mini bike ever, and it has the shock front fork and just the comfort of it. It takes away so much bumpiness, like when you're riding down the street. Yeah, dude, we got a mini bike suspension kit for the front of our GMB 100. We have a little user manual here. You flip it open and it just tells you before and after your bike is going to be sick as fuck. I ended up attaching my gas tank to the front, so this actually has tabs welded onto the front forks where I bolt the gas tank. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Anyhow, I'm gonna have to reconfigure my gas tank mounting. First thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get the gas tank off. That's why I just went for a ride for. I was trying to use up all my gas, but oh yep, there's still it's like 1/8 of a tank. Goodbye, gasoline. So I actually ordered the kit that comes with the extended handlebar risers. Dun dun dun, look at that, dude. That's a nice piece. Yeah, that should move our handlebars up quite a bit. Give you a little bit more of a natural feel, you know, so my arms aren't so far down. Gotta pull our brake handle through the forks. All right, out with the old. I put my axle bolt back on. I put my fork bolt back on, leaving the handlebar risers on there because the new suspension kit came with all that stuff brand new. All right, now to install our new suspension forks. So the top plate and the bottom plate actually has the clamps on it for our shocks. But if you look at these, they both have tabs on them for the number plate on the front. You want both of those tabs facing down and facing forward. You don't want to put these on backwards or upside down or anything like that. The top plate, I'm going to drop our fork bolt through here and then just pass it through the bearings on the frame. I'm going to go ahead and remove the nuts off of the top of both of my shocks. And then our bottom plate, make sure our number plate little tab is pointing down. I'm going to slide one shock through, and then I'm going to put the top of the shock through the top plate and start the nut on here by hand. Then we can bring the bottom plate up and get it bolted on. Now, the second shock, we can just go ahead and slide it through the bottom bracket into the top bracket and then put our nut on there. All right, now everything is on there. Nothing is tight yet. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel on as well. We'll tighten everything all up at once. Oh my god, the handlebar risers feel so much better. God, that's gonna make a difference. Hell freaking yeah. Hey, if you guys are wondering, the same thing I'm wondering, and that is, why in the heck are those bolts so damn long, buddy? Alright, as exciting as that is, I can't even test it out, man, because, yeah. Now I need to figure out how to mount the fuel tank again. So, like I mentioned, on the old forks, we actually welded these tabs on. I'm not wanting to do that to the new forks. I don't want to weld tabs on here. So what I'm thinking is like custom making a bracket of sort that the tank will bolt on, and then we can bolt it onto here. I was kind of thinking about utilizing where the number plate would bolt up, but the problem with that is it would be way too low. So I need to try to keep the gas tank up high so that it's up higher than the carburetor, you know? Another thing is I really like the extended risers. It brings the handlebars up. It's a little bit more comfortable on the bike, but I'm not really a fan of the way it looks. Like, I don't know, I think I'd rather like ape hanger handlebar style, like a taller handlebar than these taller risers. But if I put this in front of it, then I don't have to see it. Now, so what I'm thinking about doing is making basically a bracket that this can bolt on, and then maybe it can slide underneath the risers and bolt underneath. So then the whole thing just bolts on there. I don't have to go and mess these up by welding on them or anything like that. So let's see what kind of material I've got and see what we can come up with. All right, so I found a little bit of aluminum. I was thinking about just making like a flat plate that this bolts to, right? And then on the bottom it just bends, and then maybe like goes either in between the forks and the risers, goes in here, then bolts up. And then I was thinking maybe I could just go under instead of going in between. I can just bolt up down here. The only issue is I think this just sitting at the bottom, like basically the bend would be at the bottom of the gas tank, and then like, I don't know, I feel like this would be kind of floppy and like bounce a lot. I do have this flat bar that's also aluminum, so I figured instead of making it out of this thinner aluminum, I'll make it out of this thicker stuff, because this is like 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna get started on it and just kind of see where it leads. If it don't work out, don't work out. I'll scrap it and move on to this. All right, so the length of the brackets are gonna need to be the length of the gas tank, which is about 4.5 inches. It actually doesn't need to go all the way to the top, because the hole is, the top hole is kind of pretty far from the top, so it could be a little short. So I could make that 4 inches. And then the top of the forks, that's 2 inches. So we need 4 inches here and then 2 inches for the fork. So a total of 6 inches. And this piece is exactly 12 inches, man. So I gotta cut this pretty much right in half. I need to go ahead and remove the handlebars, because I need one of these pieces from the risers to use as a template for drilling our holes that we're gonna mount this thing with. Alright, I think it'll be a little bit easier to tell what it is I'm doing now that I've gotten this portion done. So basically, this is going to bolt up right there, the same place that our handlebar risers are bolting up. I'm just going to slide these bolts in there to help me hold this thing like centered, like where it needs to be. Yeah, so anyhow, once I get these bolted on, like so, right on this edge right here that I'm gonna mark right now, I'm gonna bend these up, and then I'll be able to bolt this on, bring my gas tank over here, and put the gas tank up against these two flat surfaces once they're bent up, and then mark my mounting holes. And then that's basically gonna be the brackets, bro. From there, once I get the holes marked and I get them drilled, get these things bent and all that, there's gonna be a bunch of wasted space. Like, so for the most part, like I can cut this like something like this at an angle and round the corners and make them look nice once I get the basic layout finished. But yeah, I just needed that line. Now I'm just gonna go set these on the bench, use a straight edge. I'm gonna move that line down maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then just do a straight line all the way across, and then I know where it is I need to bend these guys up at. All right, brackets are pretty much done. So they're gonna sit like that. So this will bolt underneath the fork. And then this is where the gas tank will actually bolt up and it'll sit something like that. So now the only thing I need to do is go over it with the DA sander. I'm gonna start off with 80 grit. This is gonna help me shape it. And then I have 220 grit there to kind of smoothen it out. But yeah, that's what they look like as of right now. So I'm gonna get these cleaned up, and then I need to clean up my workspace. I gotta do a reset in here because it's an absolute mess. And then we can get the gas tank on. I gotta put the sandpaper on first. Cheese and rice. And there's a quick before and after for you. Both brackets are cleaned up, ready for installation. This is going to be another piece that will get painted in the future like the rest of the bike. But we are just establishing getting the bike completely done first. And then once it gets torn down, everything's going to get finalized and cleaned up and painted and made to look pretty. Alright, slide those guys on. Now the bracket goes on the bolts. Alright, got those brackets done, got that thing mounted up. I have to say that looks a million times better than what the previous setup did. Those tabs that I had welded on there, those just look tacky. This gives it like a really nice look, dude. It looks like an actual like manufactured piece, you know? Anyhow, I got some new line to run all the way back to the carburetor because the old line, this thing right here, this was just something I put together from some stuff we had in our box, man. It's got a little tap right there connecting two pieces of hose together, and this thing was just barely long enough. Like whenever I turned the handlebars, it was putting pressure and like it was pulling on the line. So thankfully I'm replacing that, and I got plenty of line that we can run this back. So I'm gonna get that done. Gotta fill it up with some gas. Yeah, dude. Then we'll take it for a ride, try it out with the new handlebars, man, with the new suspension. Dude, it's gonna feel so much better with this, man. I'm excited to try it.
big difference, man, how smooth this thing is. And braking, I tried to top it out, but I let out. I was like, I don't know. It doesn't feel sketchy. Like, kind of that sketchy feeling that it had, it is kind of gone from this. Oh, I did start to feel this. Like the handlebar starts to get a little bit crazy, which the steering stabilizer would help with that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude.
I think that's next on the agenda.
Definitely next on the agenda, but for whatever reason, I can't help but to feel like I want to make it faster still.
Oh my god.
Well, there it is, my dudes. There it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely made a huge difference with the suspension forks on the front. Of course, I will have these as well as all the other parts that I made this bike with, that I built this bike with, in the description down below if you guys are interested in that, of course. Definitely a huge difference, man. So we have probably one more round of upgrades for this thing before it's gonna get torn down and sent off to the paint shop. Well, I mean, to me, I am the paint shop. Later.